Hello, and welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
I'm now down my mechanism for listening to podcasts.
Uh-oh.
Because I used to listen during my commute from L.A. to Grass Valley back and forth, and I would have uninterrupted time.
Same, man.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I have 2 hours a day that I'm not driving to and from AJA. That I used to listen to podcasts every day.
Yeah, and so I've lost my Zen place of being able to listen unobstructed.
Right.
So when I listen now, I never catch 100% of any show.
Mm.
Yeah, because you're distracted.
My favorite. I should have.
You're listening to the show in the background and you're doing this. What the fuck?
Yeah, or the phone rings. And,
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've got termites or whatever.
Right.
Like an ice machine, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always something.
Hey, man, thanks for having me back yet again. I feel privileged to be like a recurring guest on the show.
Recurring guest star.
We're happy to have you. I mean, we wouldn't have
You're really
you back.
down to that, huh?
If
Boy.
you didn't, if you were really lame, we'd be like, fuck.
Dave
How are we going to let Dave down? Like,
sorry, man.
I don't know. We're all
booked.
booked up. And then he'd listen to the show and be like, nobody was there. It was just those two fuckers.
I plan my whole dietary regimen around you. So and what Nat sends up.
Yeah,
so,
he's
so
like,
we're good.
He's like, I haven't had sugar in months now. Now I can binge all the sugar.
When can we have Dave here? Because I need to stop shopping because I know the calories are coming in when Nat sends something up.
I'm hungry again.
Yeah.
Yeah, when do I schedule in my runs?
Yeah,
It's funny. I told her, I said, hey, you guys are going to do it again. She's like, all right, well, what's it going to be this time?
Oh, that's funny.
Well, there was a really cool Canadian thing she was going to make for you guys, but it's not quite time for it yet.
Was it like poutine?
No.
Okay.
But it's not exactly a dessert.
I'm
Or is
picturing
it?
Lemon bar poutine. You know what I mean? Like gravy and fries and lemon bars.
Because it goes so well together.
Yeah.
That's the point.
She was going to make this thing called bagatelle, which is...
I don't know.
That sounds like something you do in Thailand.
Right. You wake up in a bathtub minus a kitty.
Yeah.
It's like yellow cake in like a custard pudding mix with fresh fruit. The problem is...
Hey, fuck right off, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, right. No, the lemon, but you guys are going to dig these, man.
But it's a seasonal thing or the time sink?
It's seasonal in that you usually use fresh fruit in there. Blueberries and strawberry. And you can't really get a lot no that right now. That isn't,
From Ecuador.
Here's the problem. Fresh fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, fresh fruit, bro. No sugar in that stuff, really. You know, you got to add a bunch to it. So
well, and there's no lack of that in bed. But the problem with bagatelles, you got to eat it fast, right? It soaks up and all that kind of stuff.
Kind of like a tiramisu then?
No.
It soaks up?
You guys will see it.
Okay.
You guys will see it. But in the meantime, enjoy the lemon bars, man.
Well, thank you.
So
Absolutely.
I definitely wanted to say thanks, guys, for the visit at Christmas was really cool.
That was fun.
Was really
I
neat.
enjoyed that.
That was fun.
Yes.
And the goodies, the cookies, the 2 types of cookies. The noms were interesting.
They're not everyone's bag. So I'm interested on your fair shake. No holds barred.
So this is now we're joking. She's like, this is where you're going to throw me under the bus tonight, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Right
under the bus.
She doesn't care for the smoky noms.
Not a big fan.
Does
that's
she like
fine.
smoked things in general?
Sort of.
Okay, so
Fish
okay,
and some meat, but not overly.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I can see that.
I thought so. To me, it was mixed. There were certain things in there that I thought the smoke took to really well.
Yes,
The
that
cheese
happens.
bits,
Yeah.
the cheese nips or bit, the cheese things.
Yeah.
And then I thought it stuck well to the pretzels that were dry. What I didn't think it worked with was there were like pretzel nuggets with peanut butter in them.
Yes.
I don't like what it did to the peanut butter.
Oh, now that's fascinating because I literally just bought peanuts, unsalted peanuts, because I'm going to smoke those fucking things and I'm going to make peanut butter out of it.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, the peanut butter in those isn't exactly
It's not really
stellar to begin with.
No. Not really.
But it's going to dehydrate, so it'll make it more chalky. You really have to be like almost like a pretzel guy to begin with.
But thank you. I enjoyed it. It was cool. It
The
was really nice.
The thing that I enjoy one of the most, the smoky noms, is the Cheez-It Snapped crackers. that are like super
remember if
cheesy.
those
That's
in
what
there.
that's why when I say
Yeah.
cheese knit, I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
Cheez-Its.
Those to me are the best smoked thing,
I'd like to see what happens with Chex Mix prep like that.
we've done it.
It's better.
It's probably pretty good.
Better.
Yeah.
We've made Chex Mix without because usually you're tossing it in like a whole fucking stick of butter.
Right. Yeah.
You can take just Chex Mix and pretzels and peanuts and mix it without doing any of the seasoning or the butter, and just chuck that as almost dry cereal and the pretzels and the peanuts into the smoker and call it done.
Yeah.
So that's,
And you could eat handfuls of it and not worried about backsplatter on the end of the toilet from the butter.
So you're doing that in a Traeger type thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now is it using like the pucks or the natural wood to smoke?
Mine will
or do you buy a bag, or how do you do it?
Mine will take the pucks, but the pucks are like a premium price thing, so I'll just buy a bag of
Shredded.
lump.
Yeah,
lump,
like the lump
hickory
stuff.
lump.
I'll take a small hatchet and break off my chunks. I don't even.
And are you soaking them in water to get them to smoke, or are you just burning them?
I just put them right on the element.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, so I have a similar smoker. He just has a different brand, and mine just uses shredded chunks, and you don't. Same thing. You don't put them in water or anything like that.
Got it.
And it's just a heating element, heats them up, and they start smoking, and that's how you get the smoke off.
So it's like a vape, but for food.
Yeah.
It doesn't ignite it. It just warms it up just enough to.
Yeah, and there's an option too. You can do two different ways. The smoker has the ability to heat up the inside like a reverse refrigerator, and create the smoke and cook everything.
That'd be like a grill, right?
Well, no, it's a smoker.
Or an oven.
Yeah, it's
an oven.
Yeah, basically like an oven.
Reverse refrigerator.
What the fuck? You like that?
That was the hardest way to describe that.
Okay, that's like an oven.
So it'll hold a temperature. You set a specific temperature, or do you have one of these too? A cold smoker?
Yes.
So
like
it's
a box with
it's an attachment.
dryer vent hose.
Oh, mine attaches right to the side, and I just put chips in it, and then the smoke just goes in, and then you don't have a heat.
Right.
So you could do cheese and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's the smoker box is a sidecar type. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, but look, thanks. The wine was good.
Wine
call it under the wine category.
It's
right?
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what kind. Do they drink wine, and I don't know what kind of wine they drink. But here, I'll try a couple things.
He had sent me a picture of your quads, I think, and your side by side, and I'm like, there's a reason why Dave's my people. I'm like, because I got a Raptor out here that's just decrepit and needs to be completely rebuilt. But the quad,
which one?
660. I have the last one.
That wasn't
the next year. They went fuel injection, so I have the last carb 660.
Yeah, to the 700.
Yeah,
which was a better bike by a lot.
Yeah,
not that the 660 is a bad bike, right? But
right. Well,
carb.
In looking at could I convert this to fuel injection? I'm like, it's not worth it.
No, it ain't worth it.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off those quads.
Are you?
Well, I got the car, right? With age, get a cage, right? So I'm going to get off the quads and probably replace them with snowmobiles.
Really?
Well, because I can.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can do up here, right? What am I don't even know where to take the car or the quads, right? You saw it's got paddles and...
Well, there's...
I've got sand tires.
Oh, the sand
I've got sand tires on it now, but
yeah.
Sand Mountain sounds like a yank. It just doesn't sound very fun.
Well, I think, didn't we talk about this? I think that you go to...
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada.
Somewhere near Reno.
Or down to Hollister kind of thing.
Well, for people listening to this podcast, that's really just over the hill. It's not really that far.
It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's nothing.
From here. From your house, it's even closer.
That's nothing, right? But it's not like I can ride out my backyard and go riding around here.
No.
Yeah.
It is Penn Valley, though. Maybe.
So I could ride up and down the road.
Yeah.
Right?
You'd have to truck a lot of sand in.
Has that just been sitting, right, with old gas and
no, I emptied it, but it's just been sitting there for so long because children. It's I haven't had a reason to. And then I gave the truck to my dad, so I didn't have and the trailer, so my dad's had all of those things.
No way to move it around even.
It's just sits. But it's one of those things one day when I've got time and I'm not tutoring pre-calculus, I'll fix it, and because it's one of like the.
No, it's a nice bike.
It's a I had no problems with it. I absolutely. No,
it's
one of those
reliable.
like temple things for me. It's like being in the car, riding the quad or motorcycle.
Riding
I'm sure
in
you
general.
for like boat is like
and bikes and quads.
It's a motor thing for me.
It's a Zen temple, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's a Zen temple.
A church.
I think they're all cool, but I've never really had. First of all, bikes scare the shit out of me, but quads and stuff I think are pretty cool. I just have never had an opportunity to ever ride them.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you know how to ride a motorcycle in general?
I mean,
it's a motorcycle with just 4 wheels. So the
no,
controls
yeah.
are
I mean, I don't think I'd have any problems with that. I've never ridden a motorcycle because scared to death ever since I was a wee guy. But I could probably get along with one of those if I had to.
Yeah. So maybe before I get off them, I'll put the tires, because there's a small field behind my house to ride on, and you could just ride around on the flat ground. I mean, it's kind of hard to get hurt, although it's happened.
Right.
We had a good friend; he didn't even make it out of camp. We turned around like in camp, and the thing's on its side. Like what? What? How did that happen? Like
that's 10 feet from the trailer, dude. What the fuck?
None of us could
just
figure
backed it off.
How did that happen? Poor Paul. Love Paul. If he
now,
ever hears this, Paul, we love you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so back in high school, I had a friend who had a little Honda 50 scooter.
A camp bike.
Just a scooter.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a bike. I mean, literally just a throttle. And I think just a handbrake. That was it. And it was like a platform for your feet, kind of like a Vespa-ish kind of thing.
Like that.
Yeah, just a little tiny Honda 50 scooter. And we would do time trials around the neighborhood in it.
Sounds like that's not going to end well.
We wouldn't.
Yeah.
We didn't give any shits about stop signs. Who uses those?
Yeah.
So we would go around the neighborhood, and the backside of the track would take you through a stop sign out into the main road.
Okay.
Oh
and
boy.
then
Here we go.
back in, and I buzzed through that stop sign. I came out wide, and there was a car coming straight at me, and oh shit! And I went like through a ditch, in through someone's yard, and I'm just like hand down on the throttle because I'm in panic mode.
Oh, you're in panic mode.
Yeah. And like,
if it had a tank, you'd be slapping on it.
I didn't crash. I didn't hurt anything. I didn't hurt the bike. It didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt anyone driving. Made it back to the house, fucking scared as shit. And then like 12 seconds after I pull up the guy in the car who I like almost headed on, like pulls up, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" You know, and I was like,
"You're ruining my time, dick.
Yeah.
I'm 7 seconds behind now, asshole."
Right.
That was scary.
Right.
I think that was the last time I rode a motorized 2-wheeler of any sort.
We'll try to keep it a little more sane than that.
That'll do it.
But we would just tear around that. I'm sure people fucking hated us.
Yeah.
Well, but that's not going to make a whole lot of racket, right?
No, it was a
50cc
little
scooter.
tiny 50 scooter.
Like a 125cc two-stroke dirt bike.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's going to really be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
But you're okay on that.
No, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, we were just, like I said, time trialing around the neighborhood block kind of a thing.
But to your point, it's about time to start getting the toys out.
I was gonna say,
about time.
yeah,
So that's what she said.
yeah.
Buzz and Woody.
There's a snake in my boot. Sorry.
What?
I don't know. Don't ask. Don't tell.
So because you haven't done the boats up here yet.
No.
Because
I brought the red boat up here in like 2014 because Abe claimed he had a 90-mile-an-hour jet ski.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to put that to the test. So
Does he not have it?
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
He didn't have a 90-mile-an-hour jet ski.
What
to
did
be
he have?
fair,
70?
he had about a 75-mile-an-hour jet ski, and I'm pretty impressed. He got off it.
But I mean, here's my question: is how do you clock this?
I have a GPS speedometer in the boat.
Well, I mean, how would he have clocked it
Same
to know
thing, GPS.
So that's
handheld.
Okay. I mean, okay.
Handheld. It's the 10-mile-an-hour lie. Everybody on the water. Well, it was really bad before the era of GPS.
I got you.
Because you had like either a little water wheel or like a pedo pickup tube.
Yeah.
So going against the current, it would read faster. And it was so when we went to GPS speedometers, everybody immediately lost 10 miles an hour.
I believe
Everybody immediately lost 10 miles an hour. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to have my valves checked. Something must be misfiring. I'll have to take this back to my mechanic.
Yeah, something must be wrong.
Yeah,
something must be wrong.
I think I dinged the prop on the launch. Something that ain't right.
Got a problem here. Got to get a different prop.
You know, if you weren't so fat and all them lemon bars, I got 10 more miles an hour in this fucker.
You're about to be caloried, man.
Yes.
You'll dig.
There was a headwind.
You'll dig them. Hey, so I'm curious. Have you guys? We started?
Yeah, we're good.
A long time ago.
Are you going to say this?
By the way, welcome to the show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, how about that?
Sad Dad's Club Podcast, episode 130.
One per.
Dave, Jim, Fu. Ready to go. Keep
Yeah,
going.
we got Dave back, in case anyone hasn't noticed.
It's good to be back. So, how do the sad dads feel about vaccines here?
Good.
Very good.
I was going to add to the end of the show. I was going to add get the shot.
I mean, let's put it this way. We'll wait and see what happens, but I have an appointment for Friday for my first one.
Because I got it on Saturday.
Nux.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Well, so the way I got it was Nat volunteered to work at the hospital.
Oh.
And if you have a spouse or you volunteer at the hospital, you get on the short list if people don't show. So at a real short window, right? So, but you guys are okay with vaccines.
I
You're
support
not
it,
anti-vaxxers.
Nope.
Yeah.
So,
Nope. Get it.
My wife has both of them.
I encourage it. Please get the fucking
So
shit.
you know, like I said, well, I got a story, right? I have a story about
Go.
that. So I've always been science driven.
I feel like this is like a Philadelphia, like born and raised.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
No,
on
this
the
is
playground
this is
back
a,
in-
kind of a sad story actually,
okay.
because so I get in this conversation. This is 15 years ago.
Okay.
I think he was boss number 14 or something like that. I went through a lot of bosses at Autodesk. They were very temporary there.
Were you the reason for this?
No,
Oh.
no.
They just ran out screaming.
Pretty much, or got driven out, right? As one guy said, I go, how's this going to end? He goes, kind of like old Yeller, but I'm not going to get to be Jimmy.
Oh, no.
So I'm having a conversation about vaccines with, my new boss.
Uh-huh.
And he says, my mind has been changed. And I'm like, oh, don't tell me you're an anti-vaxxer. And he goes, well, I have 3 kids, and one of them is severely autistic.
Oh, boy.
And I said, well, I'm like, well, what's the deal? He said, all I can tell you is that kid was fine until the day he was vaccinated, and he's never been the same since. So I'm a science guy. I believe in him. I was happy to get it. I'll be the first guy to get it.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is there isn't a tremendous amount of honesty on what the side effects really are and what % they are.
I would agree with that. I think a lot of that stuff is bleeding edge.
Yeah.
And where I'm still reading things about how it might have been with Mike that we were talking about earlier. Like there's still a lot of unknowns. There are a number of consistent symptoms across the board, specifically with COVID. A number of consistent symptoms that a lot of people all have, but there are still a number of outliers that it impacts people in various ways to varying degrees that makes it hard to make it a black-white type of thing. And especially with the vaccines, it's like, yeah, it solves, some of them are solving or giving you the antibodies in various different ways. And there are iterations of how human bodies are going to react, and there's just flat out wasn't a normal amount of time to troubleshoot all of the plausible situations.
And they completely changed the technology. Like the mRNA it's not like it used to be where they slowly weaken a version of the disease and they inject a nearly dead version that you can overcome. And it's not like that anymore. That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of debate about whether it should really be called a vaccine because it doesn't necessarily stop transmission. And one of the original definitions of what a vaccine is that it stops transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm science-based. I'll get it. I'll get it every time and take the risk, but there is a risk. And Natalie had an actress client of hers with the grooming company. And what happened to her child was they made a mistake and gave the child like 40x the dose.
Oh, boy.
Just a horrible mistake, right?
Yeah.
So, and that child has had problems. But what was really awesome to see here, so when I ran into the hospital. Nick Brashby and his wife were volunteering, and he saw me coming, and I was looking right into the sun, and he was fucking with me. He's like, "Hey, get out of here!" And I'm like, "He got me good." But to see how the community rallied around, he really got me good. I'm like, "You fucker." To see how the community rallied around helping everybody in the community get vaccinated was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what vaccine you're going to get? Do you know what?
It should be the Pfizer.
Okay.
From what that's the appointment I chose was a Pfizer.
Okay. And why'd you pick Pfizer? Roll dice.
Yeah. I mean,
know.
honestly, I don't. What I'm hearing regarding the what's the other one?
Moderna?
There's three. There's
The
Moderna,
And then
and
there's
Johnson and Johnson,
right.
AstraZeneca,
And Europe gets the AstraZeneca.
or Sputnik. Right?
Yeah.
So regarding Pfizer,
That's what it's called.
Uh-huh.
the Moderna one, everyone that I have heard that has taken it has on the second one takes a hit as far as they get a fever or they have some sort of weird reaction to it. And so that kind of concerned me a little bit. So I thought I'll go with
Welcome to the furnace. This is also the 8th circle of hell's entrance.
I was going to say what?
It's kicked on.
but so I thought well, I've seen also people take the Pfizer one and not have any real symptoms. So I thought that was a little safer choice.
Okay.
And then the Johnson & Johnson one, considering its efficacy, didn't seem like... I mean, I would take one with a little higher success rate.
Yeah.
I can't yet really trust any of the data I see on any of them, right?
I mean, that's true. Really, how much time have they had?
Not a lot.
Everything's
Not
computer
enough.
modeled.
I think it's fair to say not enough.
Not enough.
But, you're trying to whittle off
Sure.
a percent.
Right.
Sure. Well, and anything's better than nothing, right? Like if you get this thing and you're one of the people that it really goes after, then you're way better off.
Well, really, what's the alternative?
Nothing.
You're talking about, years, probably, of the unknown, versus having something that is showing some progress.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have some progress than no progress.
Yeah, sure. So in like looking into it a little bit, the Pfizer one, it's another 2-shot deal, right? Like the Moderna one. The issue with there's two kind of things with the Pfizer one. The first thing is it's got to be stored at like minus 95 or some ridiculous.
Right.
And it's also the second shot apparently is a mix. So you can't just have a junior intern go stab a container. There needs to be a mixture for it. So you really need a doctor to mix your paint job on that one.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the Pfizer one is also or the Moderna is also a 2-shot deal.
Right.
But comes out of a vial and you can store it at -5, so it can be in a regular like refrigerator. And in talking to doctors, what I got back was, which one would you take? And most everybody's answer was the same. Something like 95% of all the doctors that have been offered it have taken it. And what they say is the first one you can get, that's the one you want.
Yeah.
Now, I got a problem with Johnson & Johnson. And how do we trust a company that lied to us about baby powder for 20 years?
Right.
How do we
the
trust...
whole talcum thing.
Yeah, and no more tears. Yeah, no more cornea, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do we trust those guys, right?
Yeah.
And so
my Kim, the sister-in-law, she was apprehensive about particularly the Johnson & Johnson one. She's like, absolutely not. But given an opportunity, she has the same perspective. She was, I think, her and my sister were some of the first ones in the family or immediate family that had opportunities through their employment to like get something. It was like,
right.
Something's better than nothing. But both of us, too, were of the mindset like, we're healthy, and certainly my household is not at risk in any form or fashion. We have no health implications that put us in really any danger zones. So my perspective was, if I get an opportunity to get it, I'll get it. But time works for me because my household is so healthy that the further we get, the
isolated,
the iterations of however the companies tune the viruses as we go. Works out better for me, but I'll be damned if I get an opportunity, my name comes up on a list, I'm going to get whatever's there.
Yeah, and that I lucked out, right? So Nat did the volunteer thing that got me on the list. They called me, and I had like 20 minutes to get there, and I just shot to the hospital and got it done. So
you're you're living in small community towns up there. So is this a situation where Grass Valley, Nevada City areas are in Penn Valley, for instance, are getting a lot of vaccines? Have they kind of filtered through like the elderly and the high risk folks to the point to where they're starting to give it out?
It's starting to open up.
Okay,
so they've gotten to a lot of the V1 or 1A crowd, and they're starting to kind of work down into. I think I got it under. I was part of a family that volunteered. It was an opening, and also critical. We're considered critical manufacturing,
right?
So we stayed open, didn't close down.
Yeah, this one was an opening, and it was at the grounds.
Yeah,
and was for people who work and live in Placer County in general. And I was like, well, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, my family, I think, will be my household. In my family that lives up here in NorCal will probably be the last ones to get it. My sister-in-law has it. Brett had his first shot on Saturday. My dad had his first shot, I think, the week prior. My sister's had both at this point. And we keep checking. Venus keeps checking daily. Like if Kaiser pulls us up,
number ain't up yet.
We'll go get it.
Yeah.
We're just not there, so it's odd. But we've dodged it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
but we also do all of the
'cause
precaution stuff.
I was going to say, you're not an idiot,
But
right?
the more
you
people-
go out,
Yeah.
you wear protection.
Right.
Yeah.
the more folks in your pod around you that start getting it, the more protected you are too. It's like
you got
by
hive
attrition.
immunity at some point, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, you have enough people who are getting it that are protecting other people. That I'm not saying you're not choosing to get it, but some people choose not to get it. They're protected because other people are getting it.
Right.
You know
They're
what I mean?
surrounded by people that are.
It's like the polio vaccine. Not everybody gets the polio or whatever because they're anti-vaxxer or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're protected because everybody else is getting it.
Yeah. So like listen to since I've been on, right? Like I've been listening to the shows.
Yeah.
Lot of fence talk, man. Lot
Did
of
you
fence.
see it? We had daylight saving, so there's more light. You can
Didn't
see it.
didn't see a lot of fence.
Do we need to put the show on pause?
lot
for a
of
second?
video games.
Do you need any pickets? Because you could take some pickets in your Honda.
Lot of video games. I'm thinking of picking up a PS5 just because everybody else apparently has one.
Hey, we're playing on the Switch at my house.
or a Switch,
Yeah.
right? But it's been a while, right? I
Yeah.
haven't done that. So, and I remember you talking about working at home,
Yes.
how that represents certain challenges, and
Yes.
wouldn't you say like you're completely wiped out because you're constantly working now?
It just
I was gonna say you're still
There-
employed, so I didn't get you in trouble with.
well, there is.
No, it's just interesting
No,
to talk.
there's a
no
difference.
impending,
No.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
I got your pink slip right here. Keep talking, Jim.
Now, so he has been working from home for 20-something years,
Almost
Right.
Yeah.
and so for me, this is a new thing. And normally, I would come in at like 7:30, and I would leave at 4:30. That's my day.
sure, you're
unless
straight eight, whatever. yeah.
Unless something else is going on
Sure.
that I need to stay a few minutes later here or there. Sometimes coming on a weekend that happens. I mean,
Sure,
it's fine.
Yeah, trade show coming, you got to get the thing done.
Yeah.
Sure.
But now that I'm working at home, the boundaries have sort of
Yeah.
corroded to a certain extent, and there's times where I'm getting messages from a manager, for instance, and it's later in the evening, and I'm like, fuck, I feel there's like a impending feeling that I need
Welcome to the future,
yes,
Jim.
that I need to deal with whatever that is right
Yeah.
now.
Do
Whereas,
you enjoy your paycheck?
yeah,
You will continue to take these messages, fucker.
Whereas-
Oh, by the way, in the vaccine thing, Bill Gates hasn't phoned home yet.
Yeah.
just so you know, I haven't bought any Microsoft product. Go ahead, sorry.
well, my point being is that prior, I would have just waited till the next day without any thought about it at all.
Sure.
Because there wouldn't be anything for you to do.
I couldn't have done
Right.
anything.
Right.
Whereas now it's like all this gear is sitting here, and I got a question about something, and
You know, we put a lot of faith in you, Jim.
We're all counting on you.
The products are riding on
And
it.
we know you won't let us down.
No, it's just it's a different sort of
it is.
feeling.
No, it is. It really is.
It's a little bit different navigationally, and
Sure.
Sometimes, like I was telling Shanna just today, there are times where I feel like I have a squiggly line over my head, like I'm just, like, oh, I got to get away from this part of my house. I got to step away for a few minutes. You know what I mean? It's
It's really hard to have a boundary.
Yes.
Between a work-life boundary when you work out of your house. Like foo, I've been mostly sales my whole life, right? And/or sales management, right? And that is mostly done out of your house, right? Not a lot of reason to go to the office when you start like in New York hours.
Right.
Right? Or global, right? So that then you really don't have a life when you're kind of global. But it is hard. And you were talking about, was it your daughter with the ice grinder while you were on a call? Yeah, so, we're running, now the question is, what do we do after COVID? Who can do it now?
I'm glad you're bringing this up because this actually brings up some amount of stress in my brain about, when's the point at which I'm going to be asked to come back to the office full time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is there a hybrid
This is almost
option?
like a pet peeve of mine because as someone who's been working from home, who was told probably going into COVID that there was going to be an enterprise change to pull people into an office because working shoulder to shoulder with a teammate was somehow more efficient. As someone that's been doing it for so long. Yeah. Now, I get that. There are certainly some jobs and some perspectives of service industry that works better in that manner. But we have started to see, I just posted, I think, Ford was basically like, we're done. If you can do your job at telecommuting, I think it was like 30,000 people. Like you can work from home. Salesforce is pulling the same way. And while it's passionate for me because I do it, and so it's easy to me to be like, some of these jobs are more efficient, but it's hard to juggle the boundaries and to not have that in place as some companies have to try to stay afloat and stay profitable, have moved employees like, okay, we need you to be able to do your job. Can you do it from home? Yes. Successful. But there has to be a transition point where an enterprise is looking at the numbers and saying, we've got vaccines on board, herd immunity, whether or not you're buying into it is kicking in. When do you pull the levers and say, office? Can you come into the office?
Yeah. But Dave we're talking about that right now.
Yeah, Dave knows full well there are challenges for people in engineering. There are expensive pieces of equipment, right? That are.
By the way, my phone rang last week for more expensive pieces of equipment.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
More. I mean, we need more 12G test gear, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right, and that's $20,000 to $25,000 a crack, right?
Well, I had been limping along.
Yeah.
I mean, I know probably most of our listeners don't know about this stuff, but I had been limping along with a 3G router testing with a 12G piece of hardware where...
Coordinate, just...
Well, I can do that, obviously, but if I need to test 6 or 12G signals, I've got to physically disconnect everything and then reconnect a 12G, 6G input and output.
Into each life a little rain must fall. You know how many guys have a
I mean, no, so I ended up getting...
Come on, fucker. Bitchin'
I ended up getting a 12G Kumo to solve that issue, which was like, this was just literally like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's just sort of like, you know what I mean?
Well, sure, the age of the clouds part.
Well, exactly. The Ford article had me talking with another coworker.
Yeah.
And it was, certainly there are abstract and unknown things for a business that has all the facilities of having everyone come into on-site that peons and low-rung people are unaware of, that it would be interesting to know the perspective of, if you're not maintaining, if you, like the bank, for instance, when you no longer have to have, or Ford, 30,000 people come into an office place, what does that do for janitorial savings, climate control savings, equipment,
Right.
Herman Miller, all that stuff, all the little things that go into maintaining a facility for people. And then there was something that I hadn't even thought of. When you don't, because it relates to dads and kids, when you don't have people shoulder to shoulder, particularly humans for sure, harassment, sexual harassment, things that happen in the workplace because humans are
Bickering.
humans. Yeah, I don't get along with
Yeah.
and the lawsuits that
Sure.
have to be controlled or parented. And the common solution, like when you're a dad, is like, I just need to separate you. I need
Sure.
you two get away from each other. Well, now your entire staff
Is away.
is away.
Yeah.
So you don't have instigations. You don't have scenarios where Johnny is hitting on Carol and Carol doesn't want any part of that.
Sure.
So now she goes.
Workplace relationships are a thing. They're absolutely a thing, man.
Now there
They're a
are
thing.
drawbacks other
Yeah.
way. It goes. Do you have the amount of camaraderie and team
No.
stuff?
It's a lot
Dan-
harder to hook up
Right.
with Janet when Janet's
and I
not
know
around.
she's into me 100%. But if we can't meet at the water cooler, then how can I put something in her
Definitely
glass?
into me, right?
I can't accidentally walk into the women's restroom.
Yeah.
You know?
What? So there are a whole bunch of implications.
There's a lot of stuff.
that
There's
it's like,
a lot of stuff. Theoretically, look, a lot of companies will be able to save money because they can do
Right.
just what you mentioned: cut down on janitorial, cut down on HVAC, maybe get rid of a couple of buildings.
Right.
We're one of those companies that we've only got 2 buildings and we can't get rid of
Right.
either one.
Right.
So whether it's an expense at the same level, and when people are working out of their house, now you've got to pay for them to do so. So the price goes up.
So
The price goes up. It doesn't
Does it?
go down. Yeah, because
Really?
we've got to basically support your from home work environment,
yeah, right.
right? And that's
Speaking
a
of that-
laptop
No,
or
I'm kidding.
on
Right.
top of the desktop that's sitting there that you're no longer using. There's all the
Yeah.
pay for your internet or some portion
individual
of your internet,
lab
pay for your
costs for
phone.
someone that wants to test something.
Right,
Right.
make
So-
sure you don't
I
have
think-
syphilis.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
God damn it, Janet.
I think for me personally, it's the amount of power I've been using. To be quite honest,
Sure.
Like, it's kind of amazing.
Well, you got a bunch of TV games.
I've
Sure.
got multiple KiPRO systems. I've got a Kumo, and I've got an Ethernet router.
Sure.
Or switch, a camera, a bunch of mini converters. All this stuff is plugged in, and if I don't put it on a switch where I can just flip the switch off, then we see that stuff gets some of it just stays powered
runs
on
all night.
Yeah,
sure.
And I try to be really good about making sure stuff's powered down on the things that I can, but I don't
Right.
remember to unplug the Kumo
Sure.
and the all the mini converters and all that other and the Ethernet switch. So all that stuff stays powered up. And my wife was like, our electric bill went up pretty, and I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And when I sit here for 12 hours, my balls start to glow from
Itch.
all of the wavelengths
Yeah.
just passing through my body.
Yeah.
And we don't even need the hall light on anymore. I just walk down and pull my pants down, and I can see all the way to the crapper.
Exactly.
Byproduct.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pour out. So, by the way, it's St. Patrick's Day, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have your green on?
Yeah, that's what this
Oh,
is.
is that green? Sorry, it
Well,
looks gray
that's
from
about
here.
all I got.
You have your green on?
I actually have
I don't know.
is from Ireland,
That doesn't count.
and
It's
I
not
wore
green.
this in Ireland.
I don't have any green on.
Outstanding.
My balls are green. Does that make any?
That's a. We just talked about
Do I need-
vaccines. Did you want to
Do I have
get
to?
something handled?
So I'm going to pour I don't drink a whole lot, but I'm
Yeah.
going to pour one and I'm going to nurse it for however long the rest of the show is. I got.
That's like 3.5 minutes,
Yeah.
Dave.
We're almost
I'm-
done already.
Yeah. We're like over halfway.
This is what I said. They always go way fucking faster than.
But yeah, go.
So anyways, I'll pour one, and please, everybody join in.
talk way faster.
So
Just yeah.
So
like those commercials where they talk. You know what I mean?
for free money, right? Yeah.
Can you do that?
No.
AstraZeneca may cause ball swelling.
So does anybody have a good Irish joke? I got a good Irish joke.
Go.
I can't.
So
think of one.
in Chicago in high school, the Italian guys and the Irish guys, it was very nationalistic between those two, right?
Okay.
And they would compete a lot in sports, and there was like arguments between them all the time. And I was this Norwegian kid that kind of sat in class and watched it all go down. And one day there was a Italian Irish guy back and forth, and it started with the Irish guys making fun of the Italian guys. Said, "Hey Mick, or whatever an Irish name is, why is Italy shaped like a boot? Right? Because you can't fit that much shit in a shoe." Right? And then it was Joey. Why did the Arabs get all the oil and the Irish get all the potatoes? Because the Irish had first choice.
Oh, God.
So anyway, that's my Irish joke. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to pour a drink here.
Damn.
That was ice.
So this reminds me of back in the day when we actually used to be able to go to trade shows. And
I remember those days.
And we'd be at the booth, and
The old days.
there would be a slight lull, and David would walk over and be like, "All right, I got a joke for you," and just bust out with some nutty joke on the show floor. And
What do you call black, white, and purple stripes? I don't know, Dave. My balls. What? That's not a joke,
I
Dave.
don't remember that joke.
He's like, "No, I'm serious. They really are."
Did you want to?
Sure, I'll
nip?
yeah,
All right.
I'll nail one if you.
So let's see. What else did
It's
you guys
a
talk
20
about?
20 years.
You guys talked
Have some.
about and to the work at home thing.
Yeah.
One of the things we're considering
Thank
is
you.
maybe if you don't have a room alone, you shouldn't be allowed to work at home after this is over with. Cheers, brother.
Wait, are you being serious?
If you
Yeah,
don't
because
have a-
because people have the problem you had,
Yes.
where your family's behind you and the wife and the kids and the dog.
Well,
and
I
the
can
ice
mitigate
machine
that stuff,
and-
but
Ice cube.
my real issue is that I just don't have a lot of space in the spot that I'm in, and I'm out in the family room, so I don't have problems with people being behind me, and if I'm on a meeting, I can shield that with a background or something. No one's gonna ever know. But the ice maker in the kitchen, when my daughter decides to grind away,
Yes.
Cheers, gentlemen.
when I was like on a meeting,
Right.
that was just like, God damn it, really? But I'll figure it out. And my house is tiny, and all the rooms are full.
But it's a thing, right? Like if you're gonna have calls and meetings every day.
yeah, I don't have that many meetings.
Okay. So anyway, that was just one of the
Yeah.
Let's see what else you guys talk about.
Wow, that's good.
You guys were talking about clothing and suits.
Right.
Yeah.
Have either one of you ever had a custom suit made for
No.
yourself?
No.
No. But I understand.
I mean, I have a zoot suit.
That makes sense where you're going to go. Yeah.
So, probably 20 years ago, I had a friend of mine's father said, "Hey, I think it's time that I would like for you to start seeing my Hong Kong tailor."
Whoa.
I'm like, "All right, cool. Like this is an interesting experience, right?"
yeah.
So the way it, I bought suits like you guys did. You go to the suit barn, or
Yeah.
the
Go to,
place,
go to Macy's.
and you find the closest
Yeah.
thing you can find that looks like it fits, and then you kind of tailor from there, right?
Right.
And you look
Yeah.
at prices. So it's a completely different thing, right?
I would love that experience.
It's pretty cool. So I got the flyer for the guy, and the guy basically travels around the U.S. He travels globally, like all year long, right? But he's in town twice a year. Meet me at the such and such a suite at the Beverly Hilton. Make an appointment, and you meet the guy. You call him in the lobby. He says, "I'm with a customer. Come up in 10 minutes, right?
Okay.
Boom, I'm in room whatever." So you get up there. Guy's in a room with 2 double beds, and there's fabric laid out all over the beds.
Oh, man.
Right? And it's
My mind is going somewhere else.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's what are you looking for, right?
right.
No, I'd like a suit and some shirts or a couple suits. And well, how's this work? Well, the suits are all the same price. There's a base price for the suit, right?
Okay.
And each suit comes with 2 slacks, which was kind of cool. And you have a million options how you want the buttons to look, but there's the suit's the base price, and it's all about the fabric. You get a suit for at the time $600 or $5,000, right? Same suit from this bolt of cloth is $600. From this bolt of cloth, it's $5,000.
Wow.
And everywhere in between. And they make like 80 or 90 measurements of your body. They've got a thing that sits on your shoulders, measures this. I mean, measurements you've never had taken. You pay the guy the money.
He says, turn to your head to the left and
You cough, right?
Yeah.
You'll feel some slight pressure.
And do you want
Yeah.
the vaccine, sir?
Is that my prostate?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Almost.
And then Viola,
Yeah.
6 weeks later, the stuff shows up in a twine bag from Hong Kong, and it's you.
Wow.
It's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
You put it on,
But
and
you
it
can
fits.
feel, but there's
and then
a
lemon bars happen.
There's a vast difference.
different,
Yes.
right? And we, in the thing I think he had sent me, there was your reference to like the thread count and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about sheets, it would be the easiest thing for me to recognize and compare that to common understanding.
Twist and count. Yeah.
Right. Your Egyptian cotton with the amount of thread count,
Yep.
the really good sheets. You can tell the difference between a really high thread count sheet and something that
Sure.
you can get affordably at like Target or something.
Yeah.
And when you want to splurge, you know where to go. It's the high thread count stuff. You will understand that there's a difference, like a true linen.
You can right in the room. You can feel the difference.
Right. And it was
Yeah.
what was odd about the Prada slacks was that it doesn't for me as someone that would be like show me outside of like me walking into a store like you're going to tell me that this is a better quality
show me
fabric
where the money's at.
for the 600.
Yeah, the name doesn't mean jack.
It doesn't mean shit to
Doesn't
me.
mean
But like
jack.
if you told me this is of a bolt of cloth that was, XXX thread count and you're not going to get that in whatever $100, $120 pants, I'd be like, makes sense to me. Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
That was like the Hollywood suit shop. You get like 3 suits, 3 shirts, 3 ties, 3 socks for like $190.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
The men's warehouse.
no. So so I only wear suits at trade shows, and when I do, I wear a different suit every day. And if you've got to do that, and that's how you present, and that's the way you work, it is worth every penny.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's almost like armor.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's almost like
Mhm.
armor, right? When you kind of going into battle, right? I've got to go. That guy over there wants the same money from this guy I do. Look, I'm short, fat, and ugly. Okay. One of the things I can do
Yeah.
to kind of offset is dress and accoutrement properly, right?
Yeah.
Or as best I can.
Yeah.
Or the other half of that is, man, they're doing pretty good. He's got a nice suit on. Probably
you
they
can tell- a lot of
they
times
can do
you
a
can
little better
tell,
on that price.
A properly fitted suit just wears like almost you can tell visually, someone had that tailored, and I would expect
You can tell.
that there's a difference. I would pay that premium. That and like a really custom, bespoke set of leather shoes, like dress
Chaps.
shoes.
I thought you were going to say assless chaps.
Chaps. Something I can wear on the back of the bike.
No, it is absolutely. If you ever get a chance to do it, like going to shopping for clothes sucks.
I
So
mean,
this makes it.
I mean, I have more reasons to wear assless chaps than I do a suit. That's the problem.
Well, hey man, that good for you.
Yeah.
bro.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's a party on Fridays.
So one of the things that we're talking about dressing up, or when you have to dress up.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about on the show. Like, where are you guys at with like what is that guy? Watches, guns, and gold. Where are you guys at with that? Like, watches is a cool hobby.
I love watches. I just can't afford them.
Yeah.
Well,
The
that's
nice ones.
the thing with watches, though, is there's a price point for everyone
Yeah.
and everything. Right?
Yeah.
Like you could work your way up and trade your way up if you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you the kind of guy that knows what you like and you go, I just can't afford it, so I won't play? Or
No, I mean, I'll just buy something that's affordable that I think looks cool, and if it's $100, then it's $100. If it's out of my range, it's just like I'm not going to buy the tag or the something like that. That's not the option.
sure.
So I'll just play in the area that I can afford, and I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm totally cool with
Yeah,
that.
no, and look, that's fine. Like you
Yeah.
can have all kinds of fun for 50, and you can go to a garage sale and find one. It's a cool hobby,
Yeah.
right? One of the things about it is it can be unlimited, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of the few hobbies that can be $25 or unlimited, right? So
Right.
I've
Right.
got about
I love watches.
5 or 6 really cool Swiss pieces. This is one right now. This is from a manufacturer, Jaeger LeCoultre, and their famous design is called the Reverso. And this
wow, that's
was
really cool.
a design from the 30s for polo players that had a hard backside.
Yeah.
Like that's what she said, right?
Hey, baby.
So that if they took a hit on the watch, it wouldn't break it. And this is their signature piece, is the Reverso, and they
Wow.
have it in many different styles,
Okay.
right? So Swiss watches, right? So Do you know about watches and how they're built and things like that?
I missed that boat because I
don't care. Don't matter.
No, I working from home.
Sure.
My
exposure.
Yeah, it was like I have very
Sure.
little need to. I have a, I think they call it the Pepsi Rolex.
Oh, the Coke bottle Rolex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a cool machine. That's a really cool.
But
watch.
it's I've had no reason to buy anything else because I don't
No,
get
like
out.
if you
I don't get out much.
Well, no,
You don't need a watch for the suit you don't
But
wear.
I enjoy the precision aspect
It's
of
a beautiful machine
of having things that do a specific thing and they do it like dialed in. I have an immense amount of because to me that's almost like science and data. It's like a watch designed with the precision that I know some of the
Sure.
expensive ones are. But it's like I would feel guilty and knowing that I would never get to wear it. I have peeped at Mike Zombie. He has I'm pretty sure he has at least 5. He has a decent collection.
Does he?
I've never asked him about it. When we were moving him one time, I saw like his case. So I know it. He's got a bug too.
By the way, that guy seems like a cool guy. I see
he's
why
cool,
he
dude.
fit. He's a cool cat.
He's-
by the
yeah.
way.
He's our pod.
I enjoy
Yeah.
that guy. Yeah. So yeah, like my normal daily wear is a Rolex Submariner, right? Which
Okay,
is
yeah.
an awesome
Yeah,
watch,
yeah.
and it wears like unobtainium, right? Like it's the honey badger of watches. You can go to the gun, right? You know, very durable piece and worth more today than when I bought it, right?
Yeah.
Worth double. So it's one of those things where, I get a nice car. Almost everything else I have depreciates, right? That's
Yeah.
the normal way where
Yeah.
if you buy within, there's about a 10 or so brands where if you buy carefully or if you pick your pieces carefully, they can at least hold or will appreciate, right? Which is one of the cooler things about it. What I hear a lot of times is everything I have tells time. I don't need another thing that tells time. And like a nice watch or a watch it's not about telling time. It's about telling people you run shit. Okay, it's not about telling time. It just isn't, right? It's kind of about your relationship with time. It's a kind of a personal statement about the things that you think are cool, and it's about letting people know that okay, we're going to sit in a room with 5 people, and okay, I can see you're wearing a $10,000 watch. I'm wearing a $10,000 watch.
Yeah,
You've got,
and I
you're
think
a
there's
person of means.
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount of like outside of the ones that are, the hip hop diamond studded kind of things.
Like
I
a
think-
big clock.
Yeah, I would be more apt to wear something that almost exposed the engineering prowess and precision. Like I enjoy like an open
A skeleton face.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
absolutely. Because to me that says someone about the engineering.
Sure, you like the
invol-
mechanical
yeah,
aspect
like,
of it
Like
and-
show me.
Enjoy watching it.
This is the kind of person I am. Like this is
Sure.
the mechanics. This is precision. This is engineering like at its peak. And it was X amount, sure. But to me, like to look at something that has a function on a person's wrist that's outside, I would never look at something and say,
No, lots
But
of guys don't, and
yeah.
that's cool. I totally get why people wouldn't
Yeah.
be into it, but it's one of those neat hobbies where if you got $50, you can play.
oh yeah,
Or if you
absolutely.
got 50 grand,
Absolutely.
you can play. So the way the industry kind of works is Swiss watches are the one. All the Germans make nice ones too, and the Japanese do as well. Make mechanical watches. We're not talking about quartz, right? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Battery watches, no one cares.
Casio.
Probably
What
90,
about the Apple one?
90. That's a toy. 90. A cool toy, but it's a toy.
I like
It'll,
toys.
5 years from now, it'll be a piece of shit you can't use.
In 1 year
that's
after the
actually-
battery goes
One
to
year.
shit.
And I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So, 90% of the movements inside watches are made by one company. Right. So so kind of one of the differentiators of a watch that will likely hold or appreciate versus one that is really jewelry is who made the engine, who made the mechanism, right? So if you own a watch from the company that also makes the mechanism, that's called an in-house movement, it's more likely to be a unique piece. Like in car terms, you could think of it as most watches have a Honda K24 in them, right? And not that makes it a bad watch. It just, there's nothing exotic about it.
Right.
So when you have a watch from a company that makes the movement that's a little bit more unique and it has a greater. It's harder to do. It's hard to make watch movements. So you got guys that like Tag, mostly, right? You mentioned Tag,
Right.
That's a great marketing brand, but in terms of horology, nothing there.
Right.
Right. They take a movement made by somebody else and they put it inside a fancy case and call it their name. That doesn't mean it's a bad watch from a timekeeping perspective. It just means there's nothing cool or unique about it.
Yeah, it's not unique.
It makes sense.
It's not cool
Yeah.
or unique.
Yeah.
So, but did we ever talk about guns? Do you guys have guns? Do you like?
I do not have guns, but I have nothing against guns.
Uh,
I shot plenty. My dad has plenty. Like
Yeah.
in the country, it was like commonplace.
Sure. Yeah, it was like butter and sugar and bread, right? There was
my
always one on
my
the front.
dad has all of my guns. I guess is how I would phrase it. Like at some point, I'm sure.
And
us-
there's no worse day in a man's life than when someone hands you your dad's rifle.
yeah,
No, there really isn't, man.
old Yeller.
Yeah. Up back behind the
So
woodshed.
does that mean that
shoot him
you're-
in the head?
You're putting them down?
No, it means
Oh.
he's already gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, when somebody
I
hands-
thought you were headed there, but I was
Yeah.
like, let's look at it from a different
Yeah.
perspective.
Well, just in terms
No.
of
Yeah,
like
I hear you.
hobbies and stuff, that's fun. We didn't get a chance to talk about that. No,
I had never been into it, but my son has picked up
Right. I was gonna say
handgun stuff.
Data's dead.
Sure.
And this is in fact, he was at 2 different gun handling classes the last 2 days. He's very much into it. I think he even has his concealed carry permit.
nice.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
And, he's got like this, he has like a portable gun safe thing, and he goes shooting every once in a while. There's a couple places here around town that you can go shoot.
But why? Like you got all this country around here. Why would you go to an indoor range and shoot if you live here? Like if you live in the middle of L.A., sure, but like,
Yeah.
why would you do that here?
I think there has been a couple places where he's been that are outdoor, but also that he goes to a place literally called the gun range.
Okay, well, that's that.
and
I would
shoots
say the
fun.
last time I shot something, it was we had a couple ammo boxes and we went out to BFE, Nevada,
Sure.
and just shot buckets into a hillside.
It's just fun.
yeah,
It's just problem right now. You can't get ammunition right now.
Mm.
There's just like this endless run on it, so you can't. That's the problem with going to shoot now, right? You just can't get ammunition.
Does
right
that
now.
force the prices up?
Yeah, it's huge. It's crazy, stupid prices right now.
Mm.
I've got a
just-
stash that I've had for a while, but I don't want to eat into it because I can't replace it right now.
It's just one of those things for me that I just like I'd never really considered or thought much about enough to like, yeah, let's go shoot, or like I need to buy a handgun, or it's just never.
So what I would say is when we can do this and get over this, why don't you guys come over and we'll get some clay pigeons and shoot them with a shotgun.
Oh yeah,
or set some stuff
absolutely
up.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, just have a good. You know what else is kind of fun is I got a friend that's got 2 cannons. One of them shoots
What?
12 gauge shells. It's the
What?
coolest little thing you've ever like on a lanyard.
like a World War II or a Civil War kind of thing.
and it like an 8 scale
and it's
Civil
got
War
like
one.
like a pull string on it or something.
No, it's a wick thing, but it's
Oh.
got its own little cart. It's really a cool piece, but like you
Pirate ship.
you shoot
Broadside.
you shoot soup cans out of the thing, and they just make a tremendous racket. It's just
Oh, hell yeah.
it's just total childish fun. It's just nothing but childish,
Huh.
but entertaining.
Absolutely. In a heartbeat, I'd do it.
Entertaining. So I wasn't sure whether you guys were, if you did any of that. And, let's see, what else did you guys talk about? You were doing a little talking about electric cars. And
Right.
I heard something. I wanted to jump in, but I couldn't. That's the problem when I listen. I'm like, no, that's wrong. So on the
We get that a lot.
so on the Tesla
do.
charging. So in
Yeah.
November, Bilbo and I took a trip to L.A. and I took the Ridgeline and he took his Tesla.
Okay.
And he's got the latest S, the big sedan, the expensive one. The long.
Is it an S or did he? I
No,
thought
he's-
he bought a 3.
His wife's got a 3.
Oh, okay.
He's got the new long range S with the 100 kilowatt battery.
Okay.
boy.
And
Nice.
it only told him he needed to stop once.
So the computer analyzed the trip
Yep.
and said, you just need to stop at Kettleman City.
Correct.
And that wasn't the case.
No, it was.
Oh.
So
it
he did
absolutely
it.
was. We made 2 stops. There was a bathroom stop
Uh-huh.
at Anderson's,
Okay.
the pea soup
Piece
place.
of
Yeah.
innocence, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like 15 minutes, and it was like 15 minutes of charging.
Uh-huh.
Then Kettleman, and then we were there. So
So that's impressive.
it's the same in terms of like
you
how
have it's like I said, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
you have a limitation in a gas car too.
You do.
You just have more infrastructure.
Sometimes it's your bladder.
Yes.
In a
Right.
gas car.
Okay, so it's funny that you're talking
Sometimes
about
it's
this.
your bladder.
So
if you're riding with my wife, it's the bladder.
So one of our one of our group
You gotta be kidding me.
one of the friends in our group has a Model 3, and they just took a trip in it to Zion,
Yeah.
and
But I think he went down through.
in order to get to that side of California, you either have to go this way or up through like Reno, or you go 5 through Bakersfield or whatever and through to Vegas. So they did the Kettleman City stop. But one of his points was not every stop, like you sort of try to plan your electric car charging stops around a meal, right? Or if you're going to, see, that's kind of the thing. Like if you're going to stop and charge, we've got food here, but you're not always going to do that. You're not always going to have meal time. You know what I mean? And then when we were talking about this just like a couple days ago in our chat thing, and I think that's interesting.
So the way the Tesla will plan the route for you, okay?
So this is the big part of it that I don't think I knew about.
Okay, so the optimum way to do it, okay, is to be somewhere around 10% when you arrive at the first charging station.
Okay.
And then you have like a 15-minute bump, and that gets you to 75%.
It quick charges the bottom chunk of the battery.
Quick charges the bottom part of the battery. So if you were to pull up to a gas pump and put the thing in and go in and take a piss, fill your coffee, and come back out, it wouldn't be much shorter than 15 minutes. So, and it has you do that until you get to your last stop, and then you tell it, I want to arrive at whatever state of charge, and it may have you there for 15 minutes. It may have you there for 45.
There was, because I just watched Engineering Explained is where I picked up a number of stuff after we had talked about
I like that guy, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that guy. He's a cool guy.
He did this.
He made a mistake in his last one that I didn't call him on, but that's okay.
He was
I want to see it in the comments.
Going the
Somebody else caught him, too.
He was doing a winter versus summer cross country.
In his Model 3, in
Right.
his cat.
And he was noticing how for some charging stops, it would have him, fill up or get close to a capacity of the battery, and he had realized that if you make more stops when you're at lower charge of the battery, you get you're stopped for less time. So you almost make up the distance or the time sink that you would be sitting there, but you have to stop more frequently. But it's
zip. You zip in. It's like going to Wisconsin.
Quick.
Yeah, it's going
So
to
as
Wisconsin.
long as you can,
zip in, you zip out, you pick up the cheese.
and you can pick and choose that. Yeah. He's like, for me, it was better than having to like plan a 40-minute layover at some place. I would just pull over and hit a charging station, hit it for 10, 15 minutes, and I would get a larger quantity or quality of the charge faster.
Okay, so my understanding too is that on typically, especially with a Tesla, you don't charge out to 100% anyways.
You only charge 100% before you leave on a long trip.
Okay, there we go.
So it's 80% normal as a normal cost of day. Yeah.
So your first leg out, when you leave, you're going to be 100%.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're sort of like
75 to 80%.
You're just kind of like filling up as you stop for pee or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
So he did it. It actually worked pretty good.
I ghosted him. We were together as a group, and it worked perfectly.
So did he? You guys made it at the same time?
75, 80 the whole way there.
And
between 70 and 80 the whole way there. And it was just like taking a regular trip. So you had brought up the charging thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a couple of different networks, right? So everyone knows the supercharger network.
Right.
And the supercharger network will not allow third parties to charge on it. You cannot.
Really?
No. You can charge a Tesla on the Electrify America network or the Ionity network, but you can't take a Hyundai into it. Here's why.
Okay.
When you pull up to a Tesla charger, all you do is plug the plug in.
Mm-hmm.
The handshake is in the car.
Okay.
Built into the car. When you go to an Ionity or an Electrify America, I think they might be the same. You stand out, you plug the thing in, you stand in front of the machine with your credit card,
and you
swipe your credit card. Where there's no transaction with the Tesla. You just plug in. And no one else has that proprietary connector.
I thought he said in the ID4 thing that you could charge it on the Tesla network.
No,
I must have misheard.
You can charge Teslas on the same network as the ID4, but you need an adapter.
Okay.
And that's when you got into the, hey, what am I going to do, run adapter? But you think about it, you've got a captive audience. Right,
well,
you have a little coffee stand, or
and it's not
it's
not like the old days, right, where supercharging was included all the time.
No, they stopped that.
So
with the
now,
yeah.
Okay, so now it's like
the
you have an account with them, and when you plug in, it just charges to your account.
Like a Starbucks card.
So, out of curiosity, I don't know if maybe you've talked to Bilbo about that. What is his typical charge cost, say, for the drive?
About half.
Oh, half of gas.
About half. But if you were on the Electrify America network, it would be the same or more.
Really?
Yes, because they charge you by the speed of the charge. In other words, up to 350 kilowatts, which is higher than the Tesla, by the way, but very few cars can take that for very long, if any. Only the 800-volt cars. And the amount of current. So you pay like a 2-rate fee on that network, and it ends up being about what it costs tank of gas is. And then the way those are set up, so that the Tesla stations are really slick because they're right off the freeway.
Yeah.
Right? When you're on the Electrify America network, it's like sort of in town at a Walmart, right, or at the Home Depot, and somebody's got a truck parked in one of them, or one of them doesn't work. Yeah. Jockey, it's not the same, right? So you go to kind of further in, and then they're not all high perform. They're not all high performance anyway, but they're not all high performance.
Right.
And then sometimes if you have two of them,
they'll share.
Right, they share. Yeah. So
I was under the impression that Tesla did the similar thing.
They do. They do. However, the version 3. Right.
Say the newer ones.
The newer ones don't.
Okay.
But the early ones did.
I mean, it's impressive. Like just here in town, over by the Galleria, by the Mansour carpet place, they have a bank of Tesla chargers, and if you go over there pretty much any time, though, that bank of chargers is full, and I've actually seen Teslas waiting to charge. On the flip
and that's
side,
a new one. That's a new one.
Well,
Mansour.
No, that's the one by, and there's one across the street that is a brand new one that I hardly see ever any cars at, and maybe because of its location, I don't know.
It must not be on the map yet.
That one's got to be new.
I mean, it has to be on the map by now.
Probably on the Tesla map, but it's probably not on the third-party maps. People use a lot. There's a EV Route Planner's website. And that was another thing we're going to talk about. Like what podcast do you guys listen to? But so there's a couple tools for that. One of them's called a Better Route Planner, which will tell you what your stops are.
So do you have one?
No.
Do you want one?
Yeah, it's coming.
So
it's coming.
Like I'm surprised that you don't have
it's
one.
It's coming.
We had you kind of tipped on it. Like you're already looking at next car probably is, but you're looking.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get anything until the new Tesla 4680 packs are out, because they're about to change battery spec to a bigger, better battery, and they're going to make the battery pack a stressed member rather than have it just be this bolt-in thing. So they're going to lower the weight of the car as well as increase the range and performance both.
So are you, whatever that would be in, what style? Are you like a Roadster, like S, or are you looking for the SUV-ish?
So I have 2 trucks and an SUV now.
You want a Model Y, don't you?
I think it'd probably be a Y performance. Oh. Y performance.
No, I mean...
But here's the thing.
That car's great.
It's got to be able to fit under my lift. If it can't fit under my lift,
it would have to be a 3 probably.
My Lexus won't fit under it.
Really?
No, neither will my Ridgeline.
Well, it would have to be. Well, I don't know. The Y is pretty small.
It's pretty small. It might fit.
It might fit.
But the I think but even the long range dual motor ones. But so anyway, back to I was listening to that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You got to stop with the toys, Sam. Oh, you've seen my toys. Like how many?
Well, I was going to make the comment earlier when we were talking about this stuff that you probably bought a house that didn't have enough storage.
I don't know that I could buy a house with enough storage,
I was
dude.
gonna say.
Well, you could have, but your price range would have been a lot different.
You can always sink
And I
some
have a
poles.
spare garage, and
Well, you have a garage, and then you have the spare garage,
yeah, and I'm
and
still
they're
out of
both
room.
full of stuff. And you have the motorhome out front and a boat, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Your driveway's full of toys.
yeah,
Like I said,
I get a feeling like when we come out of this, it's like,
Yeah.
well, we're going to Dave's for the weekend. What's Dave bringing out?
I don't know. We're just camping in his front yard in his motorhome.
Hey, Nat, got your mail in.
tune into to lock into the wireless with the.
What's in the oven?
But no, so I'm looking at the next toy. I'm going to get rid of the Lexus for now.
Yeah,
But I don't need another vehicle. It's
I
just a toy.
don't think I know what Lexus do you have.
I got the RX 400H SUV,
Okay.
the first hybrid SUV.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been completely trouble free.
I've always been a little leery of hybrid systems because they just seem overly complicated.
It is, but they did a pretty good job with it.
I mean, it's Toyota,
Yeah, it's Toyota.
so
It's Toyota, but it hasn't been completely trouble free.
oh,
I've had like radiators. I've lost 2 of them now,
oh.
and it's Denso parts.
Did you find them?
Yeah. How far did they wander away?
Yeah.
I've never
They
seen
just-
one on the back of a
They're
milk
just like,
carton.
fuck the front of this car. I'm out of here.
Missing?
Fuck
you-
this.
You
Yeah.
find them in the ditch up
Missing.
somewhere down the street.
Dave's Lexus hybrid radiator. Have you seen this radiator? It went missing.
So we were paying insurance, and Natalie's like, "You got a big insurance bill coming." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. All that I got to pay in all those registrations and insurance, and
Yeah.
the insurance companies don't like my boats.
Now,
They don't like the boats, man. Too much horsepower. They don't like that.
that's
Yeah, they don't like that.
so if they're modified and stuff,
Yeah.
you just get
Or even
slammed.
just
Well, it's just a horsepower thing.
It's a horsepower
It's like,
thing.
well, I know what you're fucking doing with 1,000
Just-
plus here.
yeah.
Come on.
just tell them it's a trolling engine.
Yeah, well, then if you have a
know.
problem, well, then if you kill your friends because you run out of talent,
Then what
happens?
You just
you
kick
know?
the motor out and like put the trolling thing on there and be like, I don't know what happened. It just
Yeah,
got
we'll
some
kick- yeah,
extra juice.
Last year, you
just kick the
submitted
motor out.
5 claims for people who needed dental work done. So what's that about? I don't know.
So one
There's
time,
no handles on my boat.
So
you need
you-
to calm the fuck down.
You just reminded me of a story. One time we had a company, like a team building exercise.
Yeah, I got a team for you. Here we go.
And the British guy decides to bring his team on a rowing thing.
Okay.
The whole teamwork thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Not live, but
So if
I
you-
love rowing.
So if you don't, I got a rowing machine now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know
The
what
water
to look
rower.
at me, but it isn't water. It's a.
God, those things.
I
are
got the
awesome.
Nordic track one.
Okay,
It's pretty. But anyway,
I don't judge
so
mostly.
it's pretty easy if you let your grip slip to have the thing come out of the water, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And one guy,
Oh God.
it slipped and he knocked a gal's teeth out.
Oh shit.
It's like, this team building exercise, and she ends up getting dental work. That's a bad day, man.
Good.
Apparently
Lord.
there is an iron team.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I just lost my fucking teeth.
What is that? There's no I in, but there's no we in you. Or no, there is an I in team. It's in the A hole.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, there it
it's
is.
in the A hole.
That's right. Nice. Wow.
So you had said your first new car was a Honda Civic Si hatchback 91.
Yes.
That was a cool car.
I missed that car.
That was a cool car.
That was a fun little car.
So I bought my first new car a year before that. I bought a Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo.
Fuck yeah.
And that was a pretty awesome car.
What year was it?
90.
90?
Yeah.
90.
Bubble ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
bubble butt.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The little bubble in the hood.
Yes.
I like the original Eclipses.
Didn't have the beans.
Did you
with that
have
Gen
the-
1.
the spoiler.
Yes.
Yeah. We had
Yeah.
the same. What color?
Red.
Mine was the magenta
Now,
gray pearl.
Did you have the 4-wheel drive one or the front-wheel drive
I could
one?
not. I went into Mitsubishi wanting the GSX.
Okay.
They had none.
No, you couldn't get it.
So I got the GST.
Man, did that thing torque steer.
Did it?
Fuck, didn't it with you? Like, as soon as it came
yeah,
up,
oh yeah.
did yank the wheel.
4-wheel drive. The friend in North Carolina who got me the job for the bank when I went over there, he had the GSX, and we autocrossed with I should have held out for
He
the
tore you up, didn't he?
It was so. Yeah, he did.
Those
Yeah.
things would launch. People don't understand how hard those would launch. They would launch hard.
Yeah.
It would launch. Now, I'm curious if yours did the same thing. when I would do a really hard 1-2 shift, it would bang the windshield wiper down, and the windshield wipers would start.
No.
Wow.
It would bang so
Damn.
hard that the stalk would knock down, and the windshield wipers would start.
I did not have that.
Yeah.
I
Maybe I was
wasn't
just
hitting it.
maybe
hard
I was a
enough.
better shifter.
It could have been.
Maybe
I mean, I will say that my dream car was a Mitsubishi GT VR4.
the 3000.
Or the 3000
Yeah,
VR4.
3000 GT.
The VR4 model, though.
Sure.
That was the one with the active arrow.
Sure, and the Hika steering type
Yes.
thing. And
Yeah.
That was a complicated model. That was 10 pounds of shit and a 9-pound
If you
sack.
could see one of those driving around now, they're awesome, but you don't see them because guess what? They had a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well, so to the thing of what do you collect and what are your hobbies,
Yeah.
right? There are certain cars, not a lot, that will sustain or hold. That you could probably get what you paid for that Civic if you had it in good shape right now.
It's funny that you're talking about that because Doug
Probably
DeMuro,
yeah,
he
Doug.
did a
This is
review.
the craziest car.
Yeah.
Says the same thing about everything.
Yeah. He
The
did.
guy's like 9 feet tall.
I know. He did a review on the same thing that I had, which is the 91 Civic Si. That model was a little bit different than mine, though.
Was that a 1.8 or a 2-liter?
No, it was the
1.6?
1.7?
No, there's no 1.7.
I don't remember.
Carry the 1, Jim.
Yeah, round down.
I don't 1.6 maybe.
Either
I don't
a
remember.
1.6 or a 1.8. 5 or 6 speed.
5-speed.
Okay,
Had
that was a
no
nice
power steering.
No, didn't need it.
No.
Car was really light.
Oh
But-
yeah, super light.
Yeah.
But also, you got a whopping 107 or 8 horsepower or something like that.
I thought it was like $1.15 or 20.
I thought it
But
was.
it was real snappy and fun.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
it was a nice car.
It was low as shit, and everybody always said like, "Oh, did you lower it?" Nope. Oh, yeah. I mean, no, I didn't. That's just how it
Yeah.
was.
And then guys would bolt the seats to the floor. They'd take the rail off and then be even lower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not a great look.
I mean, no.
Not a
but
great
I really missed that car. In fact, we had that car after Chandler was born, and I had a car seat in the back. And I'm driving around in that car with the car seat in it and him sitting in it. And I'm looking at the greenhouse.
Vagina repellent.
I'm looking at the greenhouse on that car, and I'm like, first of all, this car is low as shit.
Yeah.
Second of all, nothing will stop anything from peeling back the roof of this car and killing me
No, like-
and my son in the car.
Yeah,
while
like
I'm
in a
driving.
modern offset collision. No,
Oh,
it'd
yeah.
be toast. Yeah,
So
it'd be toast.
that was part of it started having a lot of issues
It'd be
because
toast.
it had almost 200,000 miles on it.
Oh, you really rang it out. Huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
so eventually got rid of it. But funny story about that car is my brother, I think his second gear synchro started to go out. So we went down in Rancho Cordova and bought a used transmission and brought it home, pulled the transmission out, and took apart the transmission that we just bought.
Had a bad second gear synchro.
No, it had
I've seen that happen.
it had bearings that were wormed.
Oh.
All the bearings were wormed. So I went and bought replacement bearings. And then my little brother sat there on the floor of the garage and rebuilt one good transmission out of all the
parts you had.
yeah, and made one good one. I don't know how the fuck he did that. And then we were cinching the casing of the transmission back together, and he was using a power air tool.
Oh,
zipped it
no.
real, and it cockeyed.
Cracked the housing.
It cracked a bearing, sheared it in half, and there's a hole in the thing, and a piece of it flew out and hit me right under my eye.
Oh, shit.
A like diamond shaped piece of steel hit me in the eye. So then I had to go back and buy another bearing, take it apart, put the bearing back in, and I said, "Motherfucker, just lightly do go all the fucking
Let's
way."
start by hand.
Yeah, what are you
start
doing?
by hand,
man?
yeah.
So
Impact for the win.
the transmission in that car, when we finally got it put back together over a weekend, the transmission in the car was better than when I had first gotten it. It was awesome.
Everything was nice. No, cool.
Yeah,
Nice and tight.
nice
you
and
could get
snug.
down there. And,
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
It was that was a fun car.
I had
to
a
drive.
Chevelle with a Muncie M24, the 4-speed Muncie. That was a nice shifting car. 4-speed with a bench seat. You don't see that
Nice.
combination. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You don't see that combination.
No.
That's right. Right, the come on over here.
Yeah.
Artie. Yeah. You don't see that.
There's
anymore.
room.
My mom had a '73 Plymouth Fury Grand Coupe.
I had a 76.
Oh, okay, this was the '73.
After my 911 got repossessed, that was hard.
well,
That was-
it was
that
one of
that
those
was hard.
like bench
down.
seat that was so big you couldn't even reach the
Sure.
door, like on the way other side of the car. That car was huge.
Good God.
I did a burnout at Wiener Schnitzel in that thing.
I'm sure it was a peg leg too, like only one of them.
Oh,
was
absolutely.
spinning.
Yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel.
The vanish nuts on the pizza to pull out.
Oh, it was.
You were the man.
It was a
Yeah.
bad. It was a bad order situation, and people were pissed and hot. And I said, "Fuck it, we don't want our order," and I just fucking ripped it.
Like,
Look at
sir,
that,
do you
that's
want
some
your
funny
chili
shit.
dog? You're like,
Wait a second. The one tire's spinning.
That's right.
You're going to wait. But yes, I want the
my
chili
with a
dog.
little lisp.
Yeah.
So funny.
Listen, ma'am, you're going to take my $42.95 because this tire, it's not a limited slip diff, bitch. Chili dog.
Dude, I roasted one good stripe out of that drive-through.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Dude, I'm proud. You're the man.
That was my mom's car. We used to tow
It
trailers.
was my
and
mom's
shit.
car
It
too. I
was.
bought it for $1.
Oh, really?
She wouldn't give it to me for free. Like,
Oh.
I'm gonna make you pay for it. You know what? I got a lot of miles out of that car, man.
I mean, think of how low your
Chevelle?
you had a
registration-
318 in her. Oh, no, I got a lot of miles out of the Chevelle.
Yeah.
I had a 383 in the Chevelle. It was pretty quick.
My
the
mom's-
Plymouth was embarrassing.
My mom's
it
Fury.
was mom's car. It was
it was-
grandma's car.
It was a 400, and it had problems, and they had it bored out, and it was basically like a 410 when they were done with it.
Oh, wow.
It had like a rod knock that they went.
That
and
was a
had
piece
fixed.
of shit 318 with a 2-barrel carb.
Oh, this thing
It
was a monster.
like 150 horse V8.
Oh, Jesus.
Back in the day when they were just Bulge-mobiles.
What do? Nothing.
Nothing.
I have 2 barrels.
Nothing.
Fuck off.
Terrible.
This
Yeah. Yeah.
her Fury was like, it had mag wheels on it, and
Oh,
it was lifted in the back because it was geared for towing.
Had the extra leaf.
And they used to tow a boat and and so
that was a thing,
yeah.
right? Got an extra leaf.
it was fucking. It rode around like this. I mean, it was the back end was jacked
Okay,
up. On
that's
it.
all right. I
Yeah.
guess that's semi cool.
And the CB antenna in the middle of the
oh
trunk.
yeah, with the K40.
Yeah.
The K40.
Yeah.
What was your handle?
I didn't.
I was the
fucking use it.
jug mugger. That was the jug mugger, man.
Oh my god!
God.
What the fuck?
That was my handle.
That's hilarious. What kind of jugs were you mugging?
All of them.
Who even knows, man? I couldn't legally drink.
All the
Whatever was available.
milk jugs.
Even the empty ones.
I remember a semi-drug. It sounds like the jug mugger's 12.
That's
like a
funny.
kid.
That's hilarious.
We're at time.
Oh,
yeah?
shit! I bet
Wow.
we are.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you this is going to be a long one.
Oh man,
I
Hit
guess
one more. You got
Oh,
one?
you got one more?
what do I got? I don't. I was kind of over. So I'm kind of caught up on all the shows now, right?
I think so.
I hit the highlights
EV
of-
was the one of the last ones.
Yeah, I hit the highlights of what we were talking about there. What did we finish as?
I mean, we need to just. You're like our correction agency. You just come on and tell us where we fucked up. You
Right.
know? You said this, Jim, and you're a fucking idiot. By the way, here's your pink slip.
Listen, actually, on the supercharger network, it doesn't work that way, and you would know that if you weren't a fucking doofus. Well, shit, Jim. Okay. Let's have Dave back again.
You got it wrong, bro.
You're full of shit. It turns out that the 5Gs from the Pfizer virus vaccine
Oh, hey, so
give you cancer of the ball sack.
on a separate note, speaking of 5G, I got a that's pretty good. I got I don't go on Facebook much, but I had an email that says, "Hey, you got a thing waiting in Facebook," and I saw it was from a friend of mine, and it was our competitor's router at a church. And he got a call from T-Mobile about something blocking 5G 911 calls.
What?
And the guy's got a roadie test. Roadie and short, that's pretty high-end test gear. And it showed like right in the
in
the
that
600
band.
megahertz range, right? That thing was like polluting like hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's bad juju, man. When T-Mobile calls and says, "So we need to check into something blocking 911 calls," that's
T-Mobile
bad.
of all fucking.
From a church?
Yeah.
How
so they
often
thought-
are people calling 911 from a fucking church?
Say, man, that guy gives a hell of a sermon.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're
Lordy.
getting shot up or something.
Someone call 911. Well, we're in a house of God. Not today.
Lordy.
God damn it, Jesus.
Nice.
We can't get a call out. Well, God has spoken.
Someone turn off the video router.
Well, they thought it was because
Trying to get a call through.
wireless mics are pretty common that will interfere on that, right? So they
Yeah.
figured it was their wireless mics, but in this particular company, we asked, we look at them too, and we go, we don't see how this.
How is that possible?
How did it pass cert?
Talk
right?
about
Jeez.
captive audience. With your wireless mics, like, nah. Yeah, I know you'd like to call for help, but I really need
Not
to get to
fucking-
Psalms 3.
Have your heart attack
Yeah.
some other time.
Try dipping
Chump.
yourself in the holy water.
Chump.
I'm almost done.
Wait at least
Anyway.
until I get the plate passed
Yeah,
out.
right.
Body
no
of
kidding.
Christ, and have a good day. Someone turn off the mics. We're done.
Can I at least collect my cash?
So that was kind of crossing the. We'd never finished the paranormal one.
No, I figured that's what you were gonna
We
want.
never. But so one of them was. It was kind of. So I kind of tend to stay away in my job and from religion and even in talking about it at all. But
Yeah.
so
You're fucked if
Did
your
you
employees
guys-
listen to this show.
well, I just tend to stay away, right?
Yeah,
So
it's safe.
So well, I grew up in an environment where I went to church and I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I would say. I was never mistreated at any friends' churches, and growing
Neither
up,
was
that
I.
was the thing. If you
Yeah.
stayed with your buddy, you went to church with them,
Yep.
right?
Same.
Do I believe anymore? No, not really.
No.
I would like to believe, but I just don't. And I had some bad experiences at Catholic school, which I think people have, that's a very common thing, right? So I kind of, whatever religion I had, I lost when I was in Catholic school. But there was interesting teaching, right? So, for example, Trinity, no Trinity, right? Christians
Are we talking about the Matrix?
Christians are a wide range have a wide range of beliefs, right? So Catholics believe in the Trinity, that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are
Right.
the same thing. And other Christian denominations do not believe that.
Right.
They say, who did Jesus pray to? He didn't pray to himself. Hey, Dad, it's me, you. Doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And another one that came up was predestination. Certain churches believe that your future is predestined.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You really don't have any free will. And others believe that no, you do have free will.
Mm-hmm.
So if either of you were religious, I was just curious what, if any of those things how you leaned.
Non-denominational.
toward the
I
none
was
of
the
it?
same. Like, I had a youth that it was commonplace to attend on Sundays.
Yeah.
I had Sunday school for a while, but it's really was once we moved up here, those practices changed. Certainly for me, I would say my dad is still pretty faith-based.
Sure.
But
I don't
has-
begrudge anybody.
Yeah, oh, absolutely not.
If they want to
yeah,
do
no.
that.
But I've certainly become well into non-agnostic. Like, it's, I think I can raise kids, and I
Yeah.
live my code as best as I can without the need for, and I have no questions that need to be answered in some other form.
Yeah, I'm not getting answers out of that.
Right. So it's like,
yeah. Or I
I'm
don't need
okay.
it. I don't
I'm
need
okay.
its morals to tell me what to
right.
do or not
I
to
do my best to raise and guide myself in a good way.
So here's where I was going with that, right? So just curious and then did you believe in being possessions
No.
or that items could be possessed or evil? Like a doll
No.
or anything.
I don't.
No.
No? How about jinn? Genies, jinn. Jinn. They're in multiple religions' books.
Genies?
Jinn. Yeah, genies. Jinn.
I've never heard the term gin.
Yeah, that's an
I
Islamic.
thought you were talking about alcohol.
No,
J-I-N.
it's no, yeah, G-I-N.
Gin and tonic.
So no, that's actually pretty prominent in Islamic.
Okay.
Yeah.
the Islamic
Middle East.
religion. That,
DJ.
yeah, DJ. Yeah,
I-N-N.
DJ-I-N-N.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like,
Never
remember we
heard the-
talked about shadow people?
Yeah.
That seems to
Mhm.
kind of fall along the same kind of line. So no possessions, no possessed items.
I mean, not currently.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Not in the current inventory
not-
arsenal.
Not at my current residence of any form or fashion.
Did we talk about David Icke?
No.
Not since
Right.
breakfast.
So this is the guy that originally came out and talked about the earth being ruled by serpents.
No.
and that the royal family. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, right? The royal family, that was news recently, right?
Yeah.
Hey, who'd have imagined that colonial British royal family could be racist?
I know, weird.
I was shocked.
I didn't see that.
What
one.
an amazing revelation, right?
Some of the memes that came out of that shit were hilarious.
Yeah.
The one where she's holding the okay, not okay in the color chart. And Megan's holding the baby, and it's like, okay, and they're all the light ones, and not okay, and it's the dark ones. Fuck, I was dying when I saw that one. Anyway, yeah.
How could she go into that whole thing not knowing what she was up against or what she was in for? This whole, I had no idea. I don't buy that.
Well,
I
don't know.
believe that. I do believe that, the whole thing made her miserable. I believe that.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, her being who she is in her ethnicity, sees the guy that she's falling for and he's falling for her, probably gives her the false pretense of, oh, this is probably going to be okay. And then at some point after the relationship gets to where there's no going back, you find out that, shit is not what I thought.
But they accepted her. They accepted her, and they accepted the first baby, but the thing is, you don't escape from your royal duties, right? It doesn't matter what color you are. You don't get away from royal duties.
Maybe leave that up to the queens.
Well, I think they informed that couple how they felt about it, right?
I have no. I didn't follow it close enough to know but it gets weird.
Nor did I. It was all good until a couple weeks ago, right?
Right.
Everything was great. Then
it's all
not.
Cats out.
It
was going to the knee doctor.
You knew something was wrong when they decided to leave the royal family and move to California. It's like, well, shit's happening there.
He's not going to get the throne anyway, right? There's the heir and the spare. He's the spare.
That just means they lose out on any protections, monies, and all the stuff that are afforded to the royal family. They have left that behind. Because now they're no longer a royal family mouthpiece.
Of the whole group, though, that couple seems like those are the only ones I think I'd have a good time hanging out with. I like those kids.
Yeah, they seem
like great people. Right?
Yeah.
So, but that was a thing that came up recently. So I'm out of. I'm out of paranormal,
Is that all you
man.
have?
For now, we're not going to we didn't revisit family rule like the Bilderbergs and the Rothschilds and the Freemasons and that kind of stuff. We're kind of through the list. We're kind of through the list.
That's fascinating stuff to me, and I don't know enough about it. Although I do watch a lot of
National Treasure.
No, The Curse of Oak Island, and they talk a lot about the Freemasons.
Have they ever found anything? on
they
that?
have found coins.
Is that the money pit one?
Yeah, they haven't found shit, and I don't think they
on
will.
That thing since I've been a kid.
I know. But the history lesson that you get over and over and over and over and over and over and over again on that show is about the Freemasons and all that stuff. And I think that stuff's very interesting. I just don't know.
They got to fill 44 minutes with something, bro, because they're not fucking coming up with treasure.
I know.
Right.
Like a ghost show.
I let it record the shows, and then I just sit there and fast forward through all the bullshit and get to the interesting bits, and I watch that.
The gold shows are kind of like that, where they're all digging for gold.
Yeah.
I like that one guy, though, he couldn't find gold in a jewelry store.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I just don't know enough about the Freemason stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't know
there's
anybody that's won.
There's so much shit surrounding the Freemason thing from a United States perspective.
Right,
and
every president.
Yeah,
the levels.
The founding of our country and all this stuff. And it's it's hard to grasp what's the real shit or what's factored fiction.
Did you ever travel through the Denver International Airport?
Once.
There's some really weird frescoes and Masonic stuff in there. In that airport. Really weird.
Then it doesn't help that I'm sure that they could certainly encourage the confusion by just propagating fanciful concepts.
Sure, keep it mysterious so people are interested.
I just kind of look at it like the Freemasons were almost like labor union. You know,
they pretty much were, right?
Yeah,
that was the original concept: is people that could do masonry work got to travel anywhere.
Yeah,
because they were, their skills were in demand.
Yeah.
So
fraternity.
I don't know what other shit that provided for them that made them so mythological and.
Probably not a whole lot.
So you don't think they're secretly ruling the world from an underground lair, or in the United States? Yeah, I don't either.
No.
I don't either.
No, but the deep state is, God damn it. Oh, sorry.
I don't
Let's
even know
go.
what
It's
that
time to
is.
go.
What's the deep?
That's what.
It's so deep.
That's what the former president would go on about, was the deep state. He literally talked about it in the open a lot. The deep state.
And what is it?
He doesn't even know. I don't
The
think
shadow government that's
Yeah,
puppeting the strings of the.
of our
Superficial.
regular.
Well, you're the
government.
president. Like, start opening some fucking doors.
Exactly.
Like, go turn over some rocks, man.
Exactly.
But they're hidden.
Yeah, you can't get to them.
You can't tell where they're at.
You don't know where they're in the.
They're like
sewers.
the gin.
They're like the rats that the rats are there. You just don't see them really, unless
Right.
they're finding a piece of pizza on the sidewalk.
Right.
You just don't know they're there.
right,
There are fucking
right.
thousands of them under your feet,
Sure.
right? That's the same thing with the
Yeah,
deep state
so
and the
because we-
Freemasons.
Because we can't find evidence, that's proof.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely. That's
You do
that
see.
proves it.
The difference is every once in a while you do see some rats,
Right.
yeah. And so
so you know they're real.
Right.
therefore,
Right.
Yeah.
we're good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome time. Hey, thanks for having me back yet again.
Yeah. I mean, I think
hope
we're
I didn't
probably.
crash the show.
I think we're about an hour and a half in.
Oh, shit.
Hour and 40.
Whoa, damn, longest show ever.
Oh,
Winning.
no.
Nice job, Nux, on that one, bro. I mean, my Mac's gonna be like
I broke
on this
The
show.
Osmo gave up like 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
I broke the
damn.
system, man. Well, it's the St. Patrick's special.
Right.
Yes, there you go.
Except for I didn't make it special. Sorry,
No,
man.
you did.
20-year fucking scotch.
Oh,
we're good.
damn! I've never. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
what did you
very
think,
good.
real quick?
Very
before
good.
You... All right,
It was really
man.
good.
Very good. I
I've been in
enjoyed.
my liquor closet for like 5 years.
Oh, so it's 25 years, Scott.
It is now. It is actually
Damn.
25
Now
years
I'm
now.
feeling-
Does it age in the bottle, or it can only age in the cask, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
it's
Is
gonna.
it a cask or a barrel?
It's gonna age in my
For
bladder.
Scotch. It's going to age in the toilet when you're in the sewers of Roseville.
The rats.
The rats are gonna enjoy my aging.
Shit. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for coming, Dave. We'll have you back again.
Yeah,
for sure.
again.
Or not.
Again.
Again.
Yeah.
Wear the mask.
Wash your ass.
Return the cart.
Get the vaccine.
Get the
Oh.
shot. Yeah.
And what else we got? Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing one.
Return the cart. Wear the mask. Wash your hands. Wash your ass. Get the shot.
Get
Get
the
the
shot.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Catch you next week.
Thanks,
Take it easy,
guys.
guys.